Hi, I'm Marco Alpert. I'm also with Rossum Electro Music, and I'd like to show you some of the products that are currently shipping. The most recent product we've shipped is the Morpheus Z-Plane filter. This is based on the filter that was originally designed for the EMU Morpheus synthesizer back in the early 90s, but now brought into the modern times. The original Morpheus synthesizer only allowed one dimension of real-time control because of the limitation of processors back in the day. But with our Morpheus module, we now give you all three channels of real-time control under CV control. The basis is, if you look in here and see that little picture of the cube, if you can imagine a different 14-pole filter at each of the 8 corners of the cube, and that little dot that's moving around inside represents what's called the interpolation point. And at any point, the actual output of the filter is an interpolation of all 8 of those filters with the weighting based on how close to each vertex that dot is at any moment. So the easiest way to demonstrate the unique character is to show you some of the examples. We're using our Control Forge, which is a very complex CV generator. We've set it up just to be a 16-step sequencer, so we're doing a 16-step pattern. It's controlling an oscillator over here, and what we're listening to is a straight sawtooth wave. And it's coming into Morpheus, and every time it goes through the sequence, Control Forge sends out a trigger to Morpheus, which moves it to a different filter. So basically, we can hear a lot of different filters. The first 2 times through, we're going to look at the null filter, which means no filtering, so you can hear what the input is by itself. Then we'll start moving through filters. So that's just a few filters. There are 290 of those filters that come built into Morpheus, and you can customize each one to your own use, and there's 1,000 spaces where you can save your own customized filter. So that's just a taste of the unique character that Morpheus is capable of. The very first, we'll move from Morpheus here. The very first module we introduced was, and is, the Evolution filter. Where Morpheus is obviously completely digital, the Evolution filter is completely analog. It's based upon the core low-pass filter from the EMU modular synthesizer from the 70s, brought up to modern times with a lot of new capabilities. So we'll start with that very same sequence coming through here, and I'll show you each of its special things in turn. First, we're just going to do a simple sweep of the filter. So that's just the basic character of the 4-pole ladder filter. Now next we're going to add resonance, which is voltage controllable. But the resonance on this filter has a particular special capability which we call Q level compensation. As you hear with a typical ladder filter, when you turn up the resonance, you get those nice resonant peaks, but it tends to attenuate all the lows as well. With Q level compensation, we can bring that back. So here's an example. Now we'll bring in the lows. So that would be a typical ladder filter, and this with the lows brought back in. The next thing that is completely unique about this filter is most low-pass filters are 2 poles, 3 poles, or 4 poles. Evolution allows you to set it from 3 poles to 6 poles. So initially I'll do that manually. what really gets interesting is where we can actually voltage control the number of poles. So there's no other filter in existence that can do that. Finally, we have what's called a species control, which is a very special kind of distortion. So the easiest way is just to listen to this. And the interesting thing about species is as you turn up the distortion, it maintains the level. So it's got a VCA going in that boosts the signal to get the distortion, then it has another VCA at the end that brings it back down again. So you can add as much distortion as you want without affecting the overall level. So that's Evolution, Morpheus, Control Forge, and in about a month we're shipping Satellite, which is a companion to Control Forge. Basically all of your fancy CV programming here, you can squirt over to a Satellite, and then it becomes a playback unit for everything you've programmed here. So those are our current products, and as Dave already pointed out, by the end of the year we will have the assimilator sampler, and who knows what after that. Thanks.